Yeah, it's your boy Crypto Blood, and welcome to the second part of the Fireside chat we had with Heidi Yu at the Litecoin Summit 2018. This was shot by Money Badger SV Blockchain, so all credit goes to him for this one. We covered a wide range of topics pertaining to the blockchain and crypto, so I think you guys will really enjoy this. Check it out.
Hi everyone, I'm Crypto Heidi. Here's all my crypto folks. Crypto happening. Okay. Let's go one by one.
Let's start.
Crypto Blood here again.
Hi, I'm Patrick.
Jason from Cryptosomniac.
Do you have Litecoins?
My name's Ben from BTC Sessions.
Elio Trades here with FUD TV.
Jay Sweeps with Coin Stories.
Let's do that. You start a question and we'll pass around like this. You think of a question.
All right, so what is your favorite DApp that you've encountered so far, or are there any out there that you are looking forward to?
Yeah, I think it's a good question. Obviously, there aren't many good dApps out there, and the problem is that they have a max usage of about 500 people a day, which in the consumer-facing app world means that you have a dead product. I personally had just founded an app. We've been working on it for about 6-7 months. We're really excited about it. We come from my partner and I share about 30 years experience developing products, so we're really excited about it. But again, just that to me is the missing link. We've got infrastructure. We don't have any good products yet. It's like we have a bunch of app stores, but we don't have any apps. And how many app stores do we really need? How many app stores have we needed so far? So for me, it's like once Uber came along, once we had, Instagram, once we had all these apps, that's what brought people in to this technology. That's what made people need Wi-Fi everywhere they went. Until then, you didn't care. And so, that to me is just what we're currently experiencing, which is we're needing those products to move forward. And when we have those, we will move forward. But it's not going to be like, ooh, I love the technology, or I love the security of my assets. Like, in reality, digital currency exists in a lot of forms without crypto. And so, especially in Asia, they don't need crypto. Like, everyone pays with their phone and their watch. It's not going to be a crypto-only battle for digital currency, but products will bring people in. And what you can do with crypto will bring people in. We just still haven't done it yet.
Well, I do have some thoughts on this as well. Yeah. So in regards to the dApp thing, myself, I got into the space because my main interest was the separation of money and state and having a sound money once again. And so I feel like we haven't even yet achieved that. And so I'm more focused on that aspect. But when I do look at dApps that I do think will be useful in the future, I am looking for better, more decentralized forms of social media. Especially, I mean, like this was a chat at the other event we were just at before this, but it came up the topic of takedowns and demonetization and cutting off speech about certain topics, and we see that a lot across our industry, but you see it a lot in the political sphere as well, and that's scary. And I want a place where I can not only not worry about being taken down for content that I'm talking about, but I also want to know that I'm being rewarded based on the quality of my content in a way where there's not somebody scraping away in the middle. I want to be more directly rewarded by viewership in that way. So I look to things like Steemit, and when I say I look to something like that, I think it's a step in the right direction, but it's by no means perfect. Like there's centralization there where people got in early and they've got so much sway in that community that if you were an early whale, you more or less get to decide what's good and what's bad, and a single upvote or downvote can sway a piece of content either direction. So I think we need to keep going down that road and see where it takes us as far as a content creator myself, and I'm excited to see where that goes, and I'm trying to find projects like that.
So I have so many dreams about dApps. So I just provide the tools people can build their dApps. But some dApps I'm working on is it's a free community that everybody are on there and everybody can donate tokens to us. this is a dApp that we're working on. This is cool, right? So other than that, I think if there's games out there, it would be so cool. So I can play games and to have engagement with my fan base. And maybe like I'm a girl also, I wanna, there's a dApp who would be share like makeup tips and how to dress up and I don't know. So community stuff that really use the blockchain to have the community get involved.
There's no particular dApp out right now that I'm specifically looking forward to. I'm looking forward to one that works. That's what I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to one with an actual use case that works, that doesn't destroy the entire blockchain anytime you need to trade an asset, or there's so many things out there that are proving what doesn't work about crypto, which is good because we need to, they say fail early, fail hard, and keep on going. But ultimately, I'm looking for the first dApp that actually has a use case that will help drive adoption that works, and I don't know what that is yet. So.
Yeah, so I definitely believe that most of the dApps that are out there are terrible. I don't think there's a lot of good use for any of them, and there's a very specific reason for this, is because all of the developers are working on projects, they're working on ICOs, and they're working on trying to make new platforms instead of actually building on the platforms, because guess what? All the money is in the ICOs. So until that changes and we actually have people that are motivated to get on these teams and work on dApps themselves, I don't think we're going to see a lot of progress. I think that social media is probably going to be the number one thing that brings more people into the space, and we need something decentralized. But it's funny, we were just talking about this a little bit ago. I'm not a fan of Steemit. I actually don't like it at all. I think it's terrible. I think that nothing on it works right. And I think it's actually centralized. I don't think it's decentralized, but yet, yes, somebody can vote on a piece of content, but guess what? There's so many bots on there that are voting up the content. There's bots everywhere. And so really what we're fighting against is what Steemit has become. And so I don't think that the social media dApp everybody's going to be using has probably been conceived yet, the one that's going to bring in the mainstream. So, but it's just like looking at the early days of the internet and like, GeoCities and some of those early, things where you could build, like we look back and they're crappy, but they barely work, but they got us to where we're at today. I mean, look at Netscape. It brought in the whole internet generation pretty much, tied everything together, and yet it became obsolete too. So most of the stuff that's out right now is going to become obsolete, and looking forward to the future, but it may be a little further off than people think. So,
just a question though, like you say you don't like the bots on there. Well, how do we mitigate that if we're going to have a truly decentralized environment, right? So if it's decentralized, then anyone can do anything, right?
Yeah. So
how do we? So it's pros and cons with being fully decentralized, I think, and so we'll have to find that happy medium. But I would say cryptoinfluence.io is a good one. That's a good dApp. Seriously, I'm not trying to brown nose you guys. No, you didn't. You didn't. I think that's a great dApp. And that's a great example of a dApp being utilized right now. But other than that, like you said, I don't really know of any other dApps that I'm excited about or I even use. And so that kind of, all of us are saying that. That lets us know where we are, and we've got a long way to go.
Will Bitcoin become obsolete eventually?
No, I don't think so. I don't think Bitcoin will become obsolete, especially with the Wall Street guys kind of getting their hands on it. They're going to financialize that whole asset. So I got my cigar here.
You got 2 mics now. Keep talking.
So I think that Bitcoin will be around for a very long time as an asset, not as a currency, though.
That's a new question? What's the question?
Is Bitcoin going to be obsolete?
We're going to pass it back around all the way around? Or
I want to hear Fudge.
We'll snag it.
I was just going to add one thing on the dApp thing.
Yeah.
I agree with you guys. Part of the issue is that everyone's doing an ICO. And in my opinion, I almost stopped even talking about ICOs. I mean, I have stopped talking about ICOs. I've stopped talking about most altcoins on my channel because inevitably, even if I don't say this is a good buy or whatever, people will go and they'll say, oh, I just bought it or whatever. And I've lost faith in a lot of the token economics. And what we do need is, as you were touching on, is for people to be utilizing the already existing coins, the already existing infrastructure, And the fact is that a lot of people want that cash grab. They want to get that $20-30 million, which you could never get with an initial idea or whatever in a
Series A round.
that's a big A round. That's a big A round. That is a colossal A round, and that usually takes you years to get to post product market fit. So my co-founder Dave, who I encourage you guys to chat to, is a brilliant guy as well. We have a combined 30 years experience building internet communities and apps. And so yeah, we're building right now a dApp on Tron that is a social media dApp. The whole point is to have something where people can use it, enjoy it, get this extra benefit from it of cryptocurrency without ever really knowing about the technicals about it, without worrying about, oh, this is a new technological leap or whatever. And we're doing it the hard way. Like we're raising money from traditional sources. We self-funded it, over 500K of our own money, and we've put our whole heart and soul into it. And now we're going, painstakingly through the traditional methods of raising capital, because that's the way it has to happen if we're going to take advantage of already existing technology without adding another coin, which nobody needs right now. And so that's sort of where I'm at with it. And I agree with you guys 100%. And it actually encourages me a lot to hear that you guys kind of all echoed the social media, stop making a new coin thing. And that's kind of the road that we're traveling right now.
I kind of want to ask you guys a question, because you're all saying that dApps don't exist right now, and maybe I don't understand it properly, but are you familiar with Dentcoin at all? They have a product where it's working through an application right now. People are buying data all over the world and using it, topping up data all over, but they don't know that it's crypto. So they're buying data on the blockchain through cryptocurrency, which has value in the market, but they don't know that it's crypto. Is that a dApp? Because I feel like that's a working dApp that seems to be like going against everything you guys just said right there. So maybe I don't understand it the way that you guys understand it, but as far as I'm understanding it, that is a dApp. Yeah.
Pass the mic. With Dentcoin, yeah, is it decentralized? I mean, ultimately, that's really what it comes down to. If it makes it a distributed app, dApp, distributed application.
So Dent is a crypto app, which is really cool because we need those. We need your mobile wallets and stuff like that we have already built on iOS and things like that. Like those are really big, and that's another thing that's going to open the door if somebody can just go to their iPhone and download something and use it. But just because it's a crypto app doesn't mean it's necessarily a dApp. There's different.
If the government came in tomorrow and shut Dent down, would the service still continue? If not, then it's not decentralized.
Do we want to continue on
Here he comes.
Well, it's not just the government, but it's also some of the bigger companies out there. What if a big tech company comes in and shuts it down? So, I mean, the decentralization, you got to protect yourself and give a platform for people to speak that's open to everyone.
Yeah.
So I'll speak to that a little bit. I think this is something that all of us in our fervor for decentralization need to take into consideration. Because that means Nazis get a platform too, right? Because that means racists get a platform too. That means terrible people also get the opportunity to say so. Hopefully the market would say, we don't like this, and it would stop. But that's what decentralization means. For instance, who knows about Augur, right? Who's got rep? You know what you can do with that? You can get somebody killed, right? Because you can bet on anything. You can bet on the outcome of anything. Presidential race, car race, baseball game, whatever. Whether or not somebody's going to live until... Well, I'm just saying, if I take the opposite bet, chances are maybe I know a guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, it's obviously it's a stretch, but it'd be... The potential is there. There are these things that there are unforeseen consequences that do come with it. That being said, I'm still a strong advocate for decentralization. So,
and there's only 10 people on Augur a day.
Yeah,
it's like less than 10. You guys like this?
When it...
Oh, man.
Yes, go on camera.
Okay, what's going on?
Oh my God.
Your shirt.
Your shirt.
I was talking about that.
Hold on.
Oh my God.
Oh, they get the hat afterwards for the double whammy.
I love that.
Okay.
Can I get one of those?
It's amazing.
Oh my God, I'll buy it right
Carry on
Okay.
the conversation.
So when it comes to those kind of arguments of like, hey, well, this also enables, those were the arguments for Bitcoin when it started, right? It came in and hey, this can be used by criminals. Anything can be used by criminals. And I'm very much of the opinion, create the technology and deal with the crime, not the method of payment. So sure, certain mediums allow people to do certain things, but you don't necessarily need to blame the medium. You need to blame the person who committed the crime. And so I think there's responsibility that goes into that, and I'm not worried about that happening. And yeah.
Does some of this just go back to people blaming the parents? I mean, shouldn't parents be teaching kids that we need to teach the next generation to be moral and what morals and values are so that they know what content's good and what's not? I mean, should this be something family values are installing in people and that we're not counting on corporations and governments to outsource these core values? What do you think?
Well, I think that, actually, we were talking in the car on the way over here. I think I was talking to Chris earlier about... we were talking a little bit about this, and a friend of mine who isn't super into crypto, he said, you know what I love about crypto is that everybody's just relearning shit that people already knew. so there, it's like this rediscovery of why certain things were established in the current financial infrastructure, and some people are still very anti, and myself included, very anti the current established system, and I do like that tinge of anarchy that this entire new system has, but you do start to go, oh yeah, that's why they made that rule there, because of all this stuff that happens. But I just kind of embrace the negative that comes with the positive, because there starts to be this self-regulation, and the people that are doing some of these negative things, like you see the whole ICO market, the craziness that happened last year, and you see the projects failing, and now all of these, it's like trial by fire. Everybody that was involved in that is now looking back going, well, maybe I shouldn't have dumped a bunch of my Bitcoin into that project when, they had nothing but an idea and no working project. It's like that meme that you see on Twitter where it's like the horse drawn in stages and it says ICOs, and it's like this beautifully sketched for idea and then production and then final product, and it's like a stick horse with a human face. So yeah. Anyways, I'll pass this off. Like, what do we think of morals in the space? Let's.
You had good parents?
So my whole thing with morals in the space is assuming that all of our morals are similar to each other, and they're not. Culturally, morals are super different all over. I've traveled and seen many different countries. I'm Hispanic, and the morals I was raised with are not even close to what my girlfriend who is white has. Simply put, it's just not possible to have the same morals, and I don't think we should have the same morals. There's no morals in finance.
There's no morals in man.
With the mic.
Yeah, just as far as the morals, right now we have kind of like, sometimes you could argue, fringe populations using these technologies. They're not the mainstream population. So to me it goes back to user adoption and back to building something that people want. And then once you build something that actually creates a more, I guess, representative sample of our general community, our larger communities, then it'll self-regulate as we do in sort of, I guess, outside of these walls. So
yeah. As I pass it down, I'll just add, a lot of this stuff started very libertarian, but as it becomes more mainstream, you see, I guess, instead of some of the Austrian economics that pushed Bitcoin, you're starting to see more Keynesian ideas come in as it becomes more mainstream. So yeah.
I do want to ask a very light question, but this is a real question everybody have to answer. Do you like money?
Of course I like money. Money is choices. Money is freedom. Money is great. Money is a tool.
Here you go. No, we'll pass back down.
Okay.
I want to listen to everybody else.
That's cheating, man. That's cheating.
I at least want to listen
That's
to what you
cheating.
How many different times can we all say yes?
Yeah.
The question was, any of us were communists? If there's any communists here, raise your hand maybe.
Yeah, money is awesome. It's a means of transmitting value between things. So it's necessary, and it's great that we have it, because we didn't always have it. It was a barter system. It was inefficient. So I like money. It's cool.
Is crypto money?
Good question. That's
stereo.
That's hard, man. That's hard. It's crypto money. Some of it is, maybe. I don't know. I don't think Bitcoin is. I think it's an asset. It's a commodity, a digital commodity.
One thing I'll add to this, and I don't see people talking about this enough, to me now what I see in money is the creation of social form, and I didn't see that in the past. So like you look around and we have all kinds of things that we take for granted. Everything from whether or not like the cars drive on one side of the road, or we have a congressman, or the border of the United States ends here and not there. These are all social ideas that only exist in our head. Yeah. And the way that starts is with money. And I think that what I'm more receptive to now is less even whether this is money, but whether we can create social forms of a kind online that we don't have. And I like money. I'm not a communist, and I would like to see us extend some of these principles into the social form and create institutions online, much like what you were saying, regulatory solutions to problems and all kinds of things that we really need online with this stuff.
Okay, I'm ready with my answer now. I would like to say that, yes, money is good. I like money, right? We all like money. Money is a good thing, but the love of money and putting money first on everything is not good. And really what we see with cryptocurrency is we see the best and worst of those ideas. We see the best that we're all trying to create a new way to spread value to each other. We're trying to eliminate people in the middle where the money changes hands, where it's not necessary to change hands. And when that happens, like something like online advertising, think about Google, right? Where Google's the middleman, that you've got people paying Google to advertise their products, and you have people trying to buy the products, but Google is in the middle taking all the money. And that's the best of the space, trying to eliminate that stuff. But then also the worst. We have the ICOs that are absolutely insane. You have an ICO for everything out there when they're not necessary. And really the ICOs are holding back the space because of what we already talked about with the D-apps and things like that. So, and then you talk about the moons and the Lambos. Like, look, guys, it's fun to talk about moon and Lambos, right? That's what drives the space in a lot of ways as far as the retail investor. However, I can go make a video that is about a project that's a really good video, in my own opinion, that I'm talking about something positive for the space, and it won't get nearly as many views as if I put 100x on my thumbnail. Like, here's this random coin, 100x, guaranteed. And there's so many people in the space that will do that just to get the views and things like that, because they know people are obsessed with the love of money and just wanting to have everything. So I think, for me, it's money is good, the love of money, and the people that get hurt in the middle a lot of times when people are trying to chase dreams like, yacht parties for ICOs, then that's not good. So.
Yeah, I'm indifferent to money. I see, obviously, yes, money's great. I'd love to have more of it. But in the end, money's just a representation of time and value, and it existed in many different forms. So, what is money? I'm saying that a certain thing has a certain amount of value to myself. I'm saying that my time is worth a certain amount of this token that we can exchange. I'm willing to exchange my time for a certain amount of. So it's just a representation of value. It is more or less speech. You're saying that this thing is worth this amount of time, or this thing is worth, this pair of shoes is worth me going into work for 2 hours, or however it is. So money itself is just a representation of value. Is crypto money, you had asked? Yeah. I've used it as such. So yes, is it stable money? Not yet. I think we'll see it fulfill that function more over time as market caps get to the point where you can't bat around the price with a couple $1 million sell. But for right now, yeah, sure. I still consider it money, and I think it'll become more money-ish over time.
Yeah, money's good.
I'm gonna go with you right here. To me, money has always been told to me by my mom. It's just a means of getting what you want. Money isn't important. It's the objective that you gain with it that's important, right? So if to me money is helping homeless people or encouraging education or whatever, that's the value money has to me. That's the only thing that matters to me. It's the outcome of what the money gives you. It's not the actual object of the money itself. So is crypto money? Absolutely, because I can help someone in an impoverished country right now, send them money, they have a better opportunity. One of my followers told me his parents passed away. I send him $100 in Ethereum. To me, out here in California, that doesn't go far. In a small town in Africa, that goes very far. So that's what money is to me. It's a way of making life better.
No, that was great, guys.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Cool.